Hi everyone. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about six different ideas, six different topics that I have. So, keep watching this video for some fun content. So essentially, what is the difference between an asset and a liability? So people talk about assets and liabilities. They don't understand what essentially assets and liabilities are. So anything that puts money in the pocket is an asset. Anything that takes money out of pocket is a liability. So basically, the cash flow pattern of an asset is that it goes to income. The cash flow pattern of a liability is that it goes to expenses. So for example, if you have a house, then house is a liability. Why? Because it has expenses. So the cash flow pattern of the house is it goes to expense column. So the cash flow pattern of that house is it goes from liability to expense column. So the cash flow pattern of that house is it goes from liability to expense column. That is why it is a liability. If you take a house that produces rent, that is, it gives you rent, it gives you cash every month, then that real estate, that property goes under asset. Why? Because it produces income. So the cash flow pattern of this real estate property is it goes to income. So the cash flow pattern of this real estate property is so the cash flow pattern of this real estate property is it goes from assets to income. So the cash flow pattern of this real estate property is it goes from assets to income. That is why it is an asset, not a liability. Secondly, I will recommend a book that I'm currently reading. It's called Second Chance by Robert Kiyosaki. If you want to learn more, you should buy that book and read it. I'll link the book in the description, so you can click on that link, and the book will open and the book will open right away through the link I am going to provide in description. Okay, so find the book through the link in description. Your second chance. So basically, what the author says is in the book is that you have a second chance. Now, what is that second chance? Your second chance is basically financial education. So in schools, they teach you to work for money, not to make money work for you. So the rich people have learned how to make money work for them. That is why they are rich. In schools, they teach you to work for money. In schools, they raise you middle class and lower class. How does school raise you as a middle class or lower class people? Here's the reason. Here's how they do it. So basically, there's a term called rat race. Rat race is this constant loop that middle class and lower income class people are on. So basically, the schools teach you to work for money. That is, they teach you to get a job with high paying benefits. But what is the problem with that option is that it has a lot of taxes. So the taxes cut you a lot of money. So your second chance is financial education, which is not taught in schools. So financial literacy and financial education, if both of these two things, if schools started teaching financial education, financial literacy, our society would be much better. So that is your second chance for a financial education, financial literacy for you, your family and your kids. Okay, the fourth idea I'm going to discuss is your house is not an asset. So what does that mean? A lot of people have this misconception that their house is an asset. That is not true. Why? Because in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, the author talks about having a rich dad and a poor dad. So his poor dad thinks his house is an asset. On the other hand, his rich dad thinks that his house is not an asset. Why? Because the house takes money out of the pocket. House has expenses. The cash flow pattern of a house is it links up from liability to expenses. So again, the cash flow pattern of a house is it goes from liability to expense column. That is why it is a liability, not an asset. Your house is not an asset. Fifth, I will talk about a book called The 48 Laws of Power. So I was talking about this book, The 48 Laws of Power. Essentially, in this book, what the author talks about, The 48 Laws of Power is essentially a non-fiction book. So there are many laws in this book. So the book 48 Laws of Power is essentially a non-fiction book. What the author talks about in this book is that there are 48 laws. If you follow these 48 laws of power, you will gain power. And if you don't follow these 48 laws, you will lose power. Again, the 48 laws of power is a non-fiction book, and what the author talks about is that there are 48 laws. If you follow these 48 laws of in the book the 48 laws of power book is a non-fiction book. And what the author talks about in this book is that there are 48 laws. If you follow these 48 laws, you will gain power. and if you don't follow these 48 laws, or if you miss some of these laws, you will lose power. That's all the 48 laws of power were. So there are many laws. There are many laws in this book. I'm going to be talking about the one law that is my favorite. Law 41: avoid stepping into a great man's shoe. So here's this law. What happens first always appears better, more original than what comes after. If you succeed a great man or have a famous parent, you will have to accomplish double their achievements to outshine them. Do not get lost in their shadow or stuck in a past not of your own making. Establish your own name and identity by changing course. Slay the overbearing father, disparage his legacy, and gain power by shining your own way. So I'm going to add a little bit of my own comments to this law. I have applied this law throughout 2017. So I'm going to add a little bit of my own comments to this law. So I have been using this law since 2017. In 2017, a new situation occurred in my life. What happened was, basically people started putting pressure on me because my father was not happy for me. So what I did was, I got into college, Global College of Sciences, and I established my own name and identity by changing course. That way, I fought a lot of negative influences that were destroying my life throughout 2017, 2018, 2019 and 2020. So I used the 48 laws of power and this law, Law 41, avoid stepping into a great man's shoe, to combat a lot of bad influences that were destroying my life. Thank God I'm out of that phase. Thank God I'm out of that phase in my life. So essentially, in summary, Law 41, avoid stepping into a great man's shoe. I used this law throughout 2017, 2018, 2019 to combat a lot of negative influences in my life by going to Global College of Sciences, where I established my own name and identity by changing course. So again, in summary, Law 41, avoid stepping into a great man's shoe. So I've used this law throughout 2017, 2018, 2019. People putting a lot of pressure on me because my father was not happy for me. So what I did was, I went to Global College of Sciences and I established my own name and identity by changing course. That's what I did. Nevertheless, another concept I'm going to talk about is Stoic philosophy. So what is Stoic philosophy? Stoic philosophy is basically a philosophy that Seneca and Epicurus and other people have been promoting. No, not Epicurus. Epicurus is talked about in Stoicism, but the main man behind Stoicism is Seneca the Younger. So if you want, Stoicism is basically a philosophy, Stoic philosophy. So Stoicism is a school of philosophy that hails from ancient Greece and Rome in early parts of 13th century BC. It is a philosophy of life that maximizes positive emotions, reduces negative emotions, and helps individuals to hone their virtues of character. So basically, according to my research, Stoicism is a philosophy. So basically, according to my research, Stoicism is a basically according to my research, Stoicism is a philosophy that teaches you. So according to my research, Stoicism is a philosophy that teaches you to control what you can control and to not worry about things you cannot control. So basically, there are factors in life that you can control, and there are things in life you cannot control. So Stoicism teaches you to control what you can control and to not worry about things that are outside of your control. That's what, according to my research, Stoicism is. So in summary, what I would say is that Stoicism teaches you. So essentially, what I would say is that Stoicism teaches you to control what you can control and to not worry about the things that are outside of your control. So if you are going in traffic and there's traffic, so if you're going in car and there's traffic, what you can control are your emotions, but what you cannot control is traffic. So you're going in a car and there's traffic. What you can control are your emotions, and what you cannot control is the traffic. So stop worrying about traffic and control your emotions, and suddenly the traffic will go away. So these are the main points that I'm going to be talking about today. I will expand upon Stoic philosophy in the next video, and we'll talk more about a book by Marcus Aurelius, that capitalizes on Stoic philosophy. We'll be discussing that book in the next video. It's been great recording this vlog today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel.